Alrighty, folks, welcome back. Let's talk through our upcoming cycle for Lumber Capital Athletics in 2025. So, this is our first cycle of a new year, and we have the CrossFit Open coming up. With those of you who aren't familiar with it, basically it's a worldwide community event that our gym will be participating in. It's from the end of February through March, and basically it's all the CrossFit gyms will have people participating in it, and you could compare on a global leaderboard and things like that. So basically just realize that we're going to be doing them 3 Fridays from end of February through mid-March, and we need you to be prepared to at least handle your version of that workout. Obviously, no different than any other CrossFit class. There's scaling options, etc. However, we need to make sure that you're ready to handle your version of those workouts. And again, if you're showing up regularly to our classes, that should be something you're already prepared for. It's just something that I need to be aware of on my end as I'm going through program design for our affiliate. So, all that being said, yeah, you're still going to be doing CrossFit. You're still going to be getting varied takes of different movements at high intensity performed regularly, and continuing to drive up some of the other things that we always continue to work on, like strength and skills and certain things that people are wanting to achieve. So, yeah, 5 days of our week. Saturday will be the name game, which is a Zor Fitness workout. Again, if you are interested in doing that with a group of people, we usually are here around 7 or 7:30 start time for that workout. So that being said, let's dive into things. So also, I should say on Saturday, Stacy, like 90% of the time, has her boot camp at 9 a.m. So also be aware of that. Okay. Enough housekeeping. Let's dive into it. Day one, Monday, we are going to have similar to this previous cycle where we had on Fridays sort of a preparatory clock into what was basically the lumberjack total strength progression. So power cleans, strict pull-ups, bench press. You saw a lot of those movements on Friday, usually in a relatively unfatigued environment to try to drive up strength for that. And a lot of people hit PRs in those lifts, which I'm really excited about. However, we need to make sure that you're continuing to touch on those things. Otherwise, you will see regression in those things. We obviously don't want that. So I think what my point was there, I think a lot of people enjoyed, I got feedback that a lot of people enjoyed that format where it was sort of like quality work up front and then going into something else. So we're going to keep that clock focused quality work up front in this first session of the week. And again, this is essentially prep work for what will turn into full Olympic lifts. So when I say full lifts, I mean like a squat, clean and jerk or a squat snatch, right? Which is something that I typically don't mandate a lot in our classes just because, people are strongest in whatever variation they're strongest in. Maybe that's the squatting variation of the lift. Maybe that's the power variation of the lift where you catch it above or below parallel. However, we're going to do more of the full lifts just because it demands more of the joints, which is a helpful thing in this setting because you're trying to improve the range of motion and strength through that. And then also that will warm us up for any variation that we're going to have in a workout in that same day. So on Monday, we'll have a prep block. We'll go into full variations of the Olympic lifts, both snatch and clean jerk, depending on what the week is. And then we'll have a workout of the day with a variation of likely that same lift. So for example, if you did full squat snatches, maybe you have a power snatch in the workout, or maybe you have an overhead squat in the workout, or maybe you have a hang power snatch, or some, again, partial variation of that because you're already warm for that and you already have the bar out and all this stuff. So it just cuts down transition and prep time a lot. So that's good. It allows for a lot of productive work on day one. Day two, we're going to do some skill work on this day. Oftentimes if we have people showing up, let's say 4 to 5 days a week, they might show up Monday through Wednesday. And if we go, heavy lower body 3 days in a row in terms of like volume or doing a lot of work, people tend to feel beat up. So typically Tuesday is one of those days where you either try to bias, if you come in and like hit things hard on Monday, which we often do, then it's an opportunity for us to do something, attack something in a little different way, which is exactly what we're doing on this cycle. So we're going to be doing skill work. Sometimes this will be inversion. Sometimes it'll be rope skills. Sometimes it'll be hanging gymnastics skills. Sometimes it'll be up to you. And basically we will have an opportunity to work on things that you are working on currently. So I would think about and consider or talk with a coach as to what things you can or should be working on during those times, whether it's inversion, hanging, rope skills, etc. And then on that same day that we have that skill work on that Tuesday, we're going to have some sort of, it's going to be off the interval based. It'll be, usually cyclical and gymnastics. So meaning that we'll be doing something on a machine plus some sort of body weight movement. And again, that's a good contrast to what we're probably going to see on Mondays, where we're having, barbell and maybe like a little bit higher output workouts. This one could be maybe a little bit more sustainable, or at least repeatable in that, and often more body weight centric. Or if it is something where you're using the lower body a lot and more erg based, where you're not getting beat up from it. Wednesday, we're going to have squatting strength. That will vary between front and back squat. We'll kind of alternate weeks on that. And then we'll probably have something that's a little bit on the longer side in terms of time domain. And I'm going to make sure that we're involving unilateral pushing or pulling, or like some sort of like lower body. So it could be upper body or lower body unilateral work, meaning one arm or one leg working at a time. And that's a good way to still get good fitness in, but then also be taking care of asymmetries left to right, things like that. So for example, you could see a lunge here, you could see a step up here, you could see a single arm or single arm press, or a hand over hand pulling motion versus like a pull up, for example. All things like that are good examples of one limb is working at a time, or one is really biased at a time. Again, squatting, longer workout with some sort of unilateral work on that Wednesday. Thursday, again, this is typically a lower day in the gym. What we're going to be doing here is really biasing the aerobic system a lot, making sure that we're in almost no eccentric environments. Again, that could be word salad, but basically what it means is you are on a machine, you're getting a lot of good work in, but you're not going to feel beat up from it, right? You're basically eliminating the catching phase of something like, you can think of like a run gait where you're catching, or a box jump where you're coming down off the box. Those are often the things that make you sore. So we can still get a really good dose of fitness without getting sore from it. And that's the goal of these days, is for you to walk out feeling better than when you walked in. So a lot of aerobic work on those days. And then we'll also do some bodybuilding. And this could be core work. It could be, just upper body push, pull, pump work. That's good supportive work to CrossFit, and also helps us look good and feel great. So all helpful things. And then Friday, it'll be some sort of pushing and pulling work. And that could be before or after the workout, but definitely getting a lot of blood into the upper body. And again, I'll just be aware of, obviously, we have some sort of upper body work on that bodybuilding Thursday after our aerobic work. So I just need to and I will make sure that those two things mesh with each other well. So again, hitting upper body twice, but it will be in a different aspect on that Thursday to that Friday. And then the workout itself, it will probably be often a little bit strength limited, in the sense that you're pushing weights that are challenging for you and maybe slow you down a little bit. And that can be a helpful thing, because likely we're going to see that in at least one of the open workouts. So it's important that we have the ability to still hold good positions and still know how to brace and have good mechanics when you have a little bit of fatigue in the system, like you're breathing a little bit hard, heart rate's elevated. Can we still lift with sound movement? And again, that's a very important skill for CrossFit, especially the CrossFit Open, but also can be very transferable to life, because oftentimes you're not completely, fresh when you're doing a lot of things in life, tasks in life. So helpful things to think about. There you have it. That's our upcoming cycle. Thanks for watching.